Okay, so great. So I'll go ahead and get started. All right. So hi, everybody. My name is Caesar. I work with Code for America. And at Code for America, we have a few different projects. The one that I work on, our team works on, is CalFresh. A lot of you have probably heard about it, know a little bit about what we do and who we are. So we're going to go over that a little bit. So let's get started. Can we do a quick introduction just so I know who's in the room, what campuses are there? We can keep that pretty short just so that we don't take up a whole bunch of time.
I think I have everyone on mute right now.
Or do you want to go through the list of everybody so we're not kind of just going in and out?
Definitely, yeah. I think we have pretty good representation across the systems from the CSUs and from the California community colleges. So.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Cool. Just a little bit of background on myself and like my role here at on the Get CalFresh team. I've been here for a little bit over a year now. Prior to this, I was working with doing CalFresh outreach. So I was also just in the field talking to people, getting them enrolled in CalFresh using Get CalFresh. We were one of the first counties that started using that. And that's how I really learned how to really think about what it was. And then came here about a year later. So now I'm doing client success stuff, which is we send out text messages and emails and just correspondences to clients in regards to their applications, and then they respond back. And we are able to answer their questions either via email, via text, and then we also have like a live chat feature that we respond to in case they have questions as they're filling out their applications. So I do that, and then I also help out with the relationships between the CalFresh and help set up the accounts and do all those little things and pull numbers and things if they need them. Okay. So Code for America we're another CBO basically. So we're a nonprofit community-based organization. We have a contract with the state of California as a CBO outreach contractor, but we focus on digital community outreach. So a lot of you are out in the field talking one-on-one to people. We're based out of San Francisco. A lot of us don't really leave the office. Some people, we have a team that goes out to different counties that are doing partnership work. But when it comes to our outreach, we focus on digital and just being in multiple different counties. We're in 30 plus counties right now, and working with different CBOs there, working with the county partners there into how we can just spread the word about Get CalFresh and about what we have to offer. Our site is in both English and in Spanish. This is obviously the Spanish version. We try to keep everything pretty light, pretty simple, pretty easy to read, just so that anybody who visits it is going to be able to just quickly start the application and go through the application. And as we state, it shouldn't take more than 10 minutes to fill it out. We try to keep it simple because, as we all know, the BCW and the C4 applications are not always the easiest things to fill out. So we really try to just make that whole process a lot more user-friendly. Essentially, Get CalFresh, the best way to describe it is it essentially sits on top or like lays on top of the BCW application or the C4 application. So all the information that gets filled out on getcalfresh.org will get entered into a regular BCW or C4 application and then be submitted to your county office that way. So again, it's just another tool for CBOs and for people to use when applying for CalFresh benefits. It takes about 10 minutes to complete. It works on any device. So the main thing that we wanted to do was, we know that not everybody has the iPhone 10. And so we wanted to create something that's not an app. You don't have to download anything. You just have to visit the site on your phone. It's just getcalfresh.org, and you'll be able to submit an application on lower end phones, higher end phones, anything in between, and it doesn't take a lot of data, and so that we know that people have restricted plans, and we don't have a lot of moving graphics and all these different things that are just going to slow down the process. We want to try to make this as easy and as fast as possible. There's no login required. A lot of clients think they have to log in, but there's nothing that they have to do. They just fill out the application, and it'll get sent in. We do focus on the essential info, so just the important stuff that's asked in the application: income, household info, address, phone number, just all the essential things, and we'll submit an application like that. And we try to really leave out the legalese is, I guess, the best term for it, because when you're looking at a SAR-7 or at an application, it can be really hard to understand and really hard to read, especially if you have no idea about the program. It's your first time applying for anything like this, then it can be really overwhelming. So we try to keep everything as simple as possible, and that's something that you'll see when we're going through the application. We do have an income eligibility check, just to help manage expectations for those who might be over the income. We don't tell them not to apply because we can't. Everybody has the right to apply. So they will see a screen. They'll enter some information just about their income, how many people are in their household, and they will see the eligibility check that says you may be eligible. It looks like you are likely not eligible, and we'll give them the option to apply anyways. But that's there just so that they know that they might be close to the limit. So it's possible that they're not going to be eligible for any benefits. But we just want to keep them up to date on everything and make sure that they know what their options are. And so this is kind of where my role comes in. We nudge users to complete the process from start to finish. So most applicants, about 90%, opt in to receive our messages. And so we send those out via text and via email. There's an option in there towards the end of the application that users can select into, and they can do they can do one of them, both of them, or none of them if they want. And this is just to receive confirmation messages, interview reminders, directions on how to submit their documents, just regular check-ins from us to just let them know to submit their documents, give them the contact info for the county office if they need it, because we have live staff that are here in the office ready to answer questions and just provide support in any way that we can. And so with that, we also have the live chat feature, which we'll go through when we go through the demo as well. So yeah, it's definitely something that we wanted to offer, and a lot of people do make use of that, and we try to answer as much as we can, because we are not the county office, so there's only so much that we can do, but we try to just provide as much direction and guidance as possible. And in terms of our outreach, most of our stuff is done through online ads. So in all the different counties that we're in, we have ads on Facebook. Our ads will show up as like one of the first options for the Google search. Instagram has even been a source for ads. So they'll show up on the mobile phone, they'll show up on the desktop. And that's how we do a lot of our outreach. And then we use our CBO partners and community colleges and everybody to just help reach out to the other parts of the populations that we're not able to reach out to. Not everybody has a cell phone, not everybody has a laptop, so we really rely on the CBOs, on the community colleges, on the CSUs, the UCs to really help reach out to people who may not have otherwise been searching for CalFresh because maybe they've never heard of it, and really help us out in that role. And we have a partnerships team that works directly with our counties. So they have working relationships with 30 plus counties and different people at different counties to make sure that everything's going smoothly. If an issue comes up, if there's feedback, if we need to escalate something, we have escalation paths for a lot of the counties. And so we're able to reach out to them and answer questions and their concerns. Sometimes we need to actually slow it down a little bit because their county staff isn't able to handle all the applications that we're putting through. And so they will reach out to us and let us know that we might need to dial it back a couple notches just so that they can catch up and make sure that everybody's getting the attention that they deserve. So yeah, we have a whole dedicated team for that as well. And then before we get into the demo, are there any questions that anybody has?
If anyone has any questions, you'll just need to unmute yourself on your end, because I had to mute everyone so that we didn't get that feedback interference. So you can either unmute yourself and ask, or you could type it in the chat box.
Well, I can just jump into the demo if that makes it easy.
Yeah, we can do that, and then if there's questions, we can answer them at the end.
So
sounds good.
Application is just going to be demo.getcalfresh.org. So if anybody is looking at it on their phone right now, if you're on getcalfresh.org, please do not send it an application, because that is the live website, and that will go directly to the county office. It happens, a lot of people do this. So we tried to make it as obvious as possible about the demo application. So it's demo.getcalfresh.org. There's no www, it's just demo.getcalfresh.org. So this is our page. Get help putting food on the table, apply for food stamps in 10 minutes. We tried to keep it as CalFresh as possible, but still people understand and recognize food stamps a lot more than they recognize CalFresh. So just a quick scroll through our page, some just basic information. Submit documents. We'll go over the documents upload page in a bit. We have this: apply in 10 minutes, get money within 30 days, buy groceries. We go a little bit through expedited services. The counties that we're partnered with, so Alameda, Butte, Calusa, to Modoc, Monterey, San Mateo, Ventura, Yolo, San Francisco, San Diego. So we're in a lot of different counties right now. And when we're aiming to be in all counties within the next few months by the end of the year, don't know how, I don't know exactly how that's moving along, but that's going to be the goal. All right, and then as assisters, which we'll go through in a bit, your part signing in which is going to be really important. It's going to be down here. So assister sign in, and then we'll go over making the accounts and things later. And I know that Brandy and everybody has instructions on that. So we'll click apply now. So here's how CalFresh works. Again, submit an application, do an interview with your county, get money for groceries. So we try to simplify it, but let them know what their steps are going to be for finishing the process and to finally get the CalFresh benefits. So all of this is, as we learn more and as we just grow and evolve, we are changing the format, the layout, things that make more sense. We're getting more feedback from county partners, from clients, from CBOs. And so we try to use that and try to make adjustments and change wording or change layouts, things that make more sense. We want to work on our approval rate also. So we've found that readjusting questions or changing the format of certain things has actually helped us with our approval rate. And so, we constantly try different experiments and things. And so we've moved to this kind of yes-no feature in this yes-no style, I guess, to just make it a lot easier for clients when they're filling out the application. So have you applied for CalFresh before? Let's just say yes, and it'll give you an option of different things. So I'm trying to submit documents. I missed my interview. I need to recertify. I need to submit my SAR 7. I'm reapplying. Other. So if they need to submit documents, this would take them to our documents upload page. This would take them to a page that says, contact your county, because we saw a lot of people who they thought that they needed to submit a whole new application just because they missed their interview or just because they need to submit more documents. They kept submitting more duplicate applications when that wasn't necessary at all. So we'll go ahead and just do a reapplying. So basic information: how many people live in your household? And everybody knows this, definitions and all that, but we want to be able to, I'll just point out, we try to include as much information as possible so that people just don't get confused when they're doing this. We'll say Alameda because that's the county that I live in. And this is only something that you'll see on the demo site, because again, we've had people submit fake applications. We've had people submit real applications on the demo site. How they got to the demo site, I'm not sure, but they did. So we'll go continue demo application. And then I know I'm working with or speaking with all campuses, with a bunch of campuses right now, and everybody here is going to be working with students. So we'll go ahead and click college students so that we can go through that. But then this is just special cases. So if somebody receives SSI, SSP, they'll get a screen that shows that, the information behind that. There's 60 years or older, and they'll learn stuff about medical expenses and things, disabled, not a citizen, etc. So we'll go college student. And so, as we all know, student exemptions can be really tricky and also really ridiculous, but we try to put as much information in here as possible. So do any of these apply to you? So I'm enrolled less than half time, usually work over 20 hours a week, receive Cal Grant, have a child, disability, employment training and foster program. Let's just make it easy. I'm enrolled less than half time. No, I don't live on campus. But if somebody does live on campus, they get a question about their meal plan. So we make sure to ask that so that we can just fish out the right answers and to see if they will be qualified or they could be potentially qualified. Do you live with your parents? If we were to say yes, they get asked about their age. If they don't, then we can go ahead and continue. So I said, yes, I do have a job. Self-employed? No, I'm not self-employed. I have not lost a job in 30 days. So a lot of this, again, is going to be a lot of yes, no. So it's just, it's kind of made for speed essentially, and just for ease. You can read the question very quickly and you'll be able to know yes or no. You should be able to know yes or no right off the top of your head. And clients will be able to answer that quickly, and just, you don't have to, we're not making it complicated. We just try to make it as simple as possible. Money from other sources. So since we said we're a student, then this one says students do not include financial aid. So we'll have those little ones when applicable, just to make sure that we have that information there, and so that hopefully people are reading that, so they don't need to include their financial aid. Child support, don't pay any child support. So now we're going to look at income because we answered yes to having a job. So I only have one job, but you can drop this down and have up to 12 jobs. Do not include any jobs you lost in the last 30 days. And so this is something that we were testing out also, because we were finding that people were reporting their income incorrectly. So if they do the exact amount, because maybe they have their pay stubs, they can enter that in. You can provide the hourly wage. And so we can do, I get paid, what's minimum wage? I don't know. Let's say $12. How many hours a week do you work? I said I work less than 20, so let's say 15. And it'll calculate it there. And so this is my income for the month. And then there was another one for, I can only provide an estimate, which will give you a similar screen, but it'll just be a blank estimate. And so this is going to be the gross income. So a lot of people know their take home, so we wanted to make sure that if they were getting paid hourly, they might not know their gross income. So just by putting in how many hours they work on average and what their pay is, then we were going to be able to calculate that and give them the most accurate information as possible. So we'll apply. First name, last name. Select all that apply. So I rent or own, I live on campus, I'm couch surfing, I live in my RV car, I stay in a shelter. We're changing some of the words to these things. So especially to this one, I don't know. I know we have a couple things up in the air that we're changing in terms of just the options that we're choosing. So we're going to say I rent or own. Then again, the pages actually do toggle back and forth to English and Spanish. So you can just keep going back and forth on each page. If you go in Spanish, it'll take you to the next page in Spanish. And if you need to, just keep going back and forth, you can. So this is Code for America's office, with an Oakland, because I said I live in Alameda. If I did put San Francisco, it would give me another screen that's just verifying, oh, you said you live in Alameda County, but you put in a San Francisco address, or vice versa, whatever the information is. So we want to make sure that we're getting the information to the correct county. And if any issues do come up, then we actually do reach out to the clients directly to make sure that we're submitting it to the right people and we're taking the right steps. So we want to make sure that this is the right address to receive mail at. So yes, and mail there. All right, so that was just like our quick little screener. We're getting a bunch of the just general information. And we do have the option to just stop working and submit an application now. This is something that when I was doing CalFresh applications, I actually looked over and I had no idea that this was there. And I guess that's kind of the point, right? While people definitely have the ability and the option to just go ahead and click on this and just submit their application with like their contact info next, we know that the more information, the better. So we give them the option, but we don't highlight it as we do some of the other buttons. So to continue, we'll go through here. Phone number has to be 10 numbers. And the language for your county to reach out to you in. So we have all these different options. That'll just show up, and the county will have to provide somebody, as you know, to help out in that preferred language. Birthday. Social security number. This can be left blank. Otherwise, it needs to be 9 numbers, no dashes. If you have one, strongly recommend including it here. The county will use your social security number to make sure your application is not confused with anyone else's. If you don't have one, that's okay. Just leave this field blank. This is one of the only fields that we can leave blank. Other ones, which I'll go through, we'll need to put like 0. But otherwise, this one can be left blank. And so that initial question that we asked was about was for the screener. But now we're going a little more into detail about the household. So your household can include both family and roommates, but only if you buy and cook food with them, and give a few specific situations. So let's just, for fun, add one more person. We'll add James Smith, and we have same birthday. And we'll give them a social security number. So in regards to students.getcalfresh.org, you can definitely promote students.getcalfresh.org. That's not a problem at all. It's just like a little more geared towards students and a little bit flashier, and it looks nicer and just more attention grabbing. So you can definitely do that. If you are going to be doing assistance, then you would log in and then it would just take you to this site. But if you're going to be giving out a website, then students.getcalfresh.org is perfect. So how much you pay in rent? Let's say $1,000. And then again, you can enter 0 if you don't pay anything, but something needs to be entered here. How much you pay for utilities each month? We'll say that's included. The resources question, so checking account, savings account, etc. Say I don't have anything on hand. And now we're just going to ask about their interview. So if they prefer to have one in person or over the phone. They have to choose one or the other, and then we'll ask them when is a good time. So Monday to Thursday. And we'll say 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Continue. And then these are the messages that I was mentioning earlier, the reminders throughout the process for email or for text message. So I'll click both. This is just verifying the phone number. So again, about the student stuff, if it's completely up to you all if you want to promote the student site or the non-student site. It's all the same. So whatever you would prefer is completely fine, unless there's something just group wide that is there, if there is a preference there.
Yeah, so this is Brandy just chiming in. If you are going to be working with us on the CalFresh Outreach contract come October, or if you're one of our current subcontractors, the issue with using just that general link is that you're not going to be able to get credit for the applications that you're assisting with if you're just giving out that link. And we can talk about that a little bit at the end a little bit more. But that's my concern with just the generic link.
All right, so we have verifying the phone number that I entered, email address. All right. And then this is a cool little page that we have. This is basically just a blank text box. A lot of people use it, and it's just to give more information about what they have, or if they have any just situations, special situations going on. People use this to write I am going to be homeless in the next few months. I'm going to be homeless in the next few months, and they can add, additional things, and this will get attached as a PDF through with the application. All right, and then this is the legal stuff. So this is stuff we have to put in there. You have been honest on this application. Getting CalFresh will not affect your family's immigration status. You can register to vote. They have us put all that there. Details I have read or had read to me, the information in this application, the answers to the questions in this application, etc. So they have to agree in order to submit your application. And we'll click continue. And then they sign their name. And it's submitted. So remember, your application can't be approved until you submit proof. So this is for documents. So we give them the option to do this at the end of the application as well. So let's see. So there's two options. We'll go through this first, and then I'll take questions. I know there's questions. There's probably questions after the application, and then a lot of that will lead into the document stuff. So we can go finish this part, and then we'll go to questions on the whole thing. So yeah, there's two options. They can submit proof here, or they can take pictures with their phone, or they can submit proof later. So I guess three options, sorry. Submit proof here, and this will take them through a document, like guidance thing, asking some of the same questions just to make sure that, just to give them a list of which documents they're gonna need. If they do take pictures with my phone, what's gonna happen, and this is very important, take pictures with my phone, this will send a link to their cell phone, to whatever number they put in, and it will give them the option to take the pictures with their phone and basically pick up the application that was started on the laptop or on the iPad or whatever, and send it to their cell phone where they can upload the documents, take pictures, upload them, and attach them to the application. What a lot of people have been doing, and I think we need to address, us as Get CalFresh needs to address, is that people are uploading, maybe they have their ID out first, so for the first one, they'll take pictures with my phone, and then they will upload their ID through their phone, and then they'll come back to the getcalfresh.org page on their laptop, and then they'll go to the next one and do the same thing, and it confuses the whole process and just kind of like throws off the application. So I'll show you what I mean by that here. So pick a file from this computer or use your smartphone camera. So this, when people do use your smartphone camera, that it'll text them that link as well, and that's when they the confusion happens. So if you are going to use your smartphone camera, you would pick up the rest of that to your cell phone. Okay, if that makes sense. And I can answer questions again at the end of this. So just you would be able to pick a file from here. It's going to pull up this, and you can attach anything you have. But we'll click nothing to submit now. Pay stubs, we'll do nothing to submit now. Proof of housing expenses, student status, and then anything else that we might want to submit. So they took all the information from the last questions, from the initial questions, and they're just asking for the stuff that they already know that they're going to need. All right, so CalFresh application has been successfully submitted to Alameda County on 8/28/2018. So then we give them, another breakdown of everything of what to expect. County's going to call you. It'll take about 30 minutes. We'll provide you with a list of documents, and if they need to submit anything else, this is the link for them to do that at. And then we'll occasionally follow up with you by text, message, and email to help you through the rest of the 30-day process and give them a link to the food banks and things. So yeah, then we have a nice little feedback thing here for people to leave feedback and just give us any comments that they feel might be useful for us, or if they love it, if they hate it, they would like to make any changes, we give them that option to do that here. But once you see the screen, you're done. So are there any questions? And then we can either do it if people want to jump on the mic, or you can send it out through chat. We can answer it that way.
Hi, this is Brandy again. So I just wanted to address those couple of questions that came in the chat box. So what I was referring to about those links that that a couple of you had questions about is that if you just give out that student link, it's not going to be hooked or attached to your actual CBO account. So then when reporting time comes, you won't be able to see those applications. So that's my worry about just using that link for the students. We definitely want you to have, we want you to get credit for those applications that you're helping with. So that's what I was referring to. Hopefully that makes a little bit more sense.
Hi, Brandy. This is Jenny. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Hello, Jenny.
Oh, good, good, good. So hello, everyone. I wanted to pipe in here a little bit too and just mention that the students get calfresh.org. I love the little, oh, good. Yeah, Caesar, you pulled it up.
Yeah.
This really just anyone who participated in the clinical trial for the extra cash, these little things are just really, really catchy. Is there a place on here that the CBO can log in so that we could actually use this portal instead of the getcalfresh.org portal? Because I wasn't seeing a CBO portal sign in.
Yeah, on this one there isn't. I mean, generally, if you're going to be assisting somebody, you're already going to be logged in, and you're the one that's going to be filling out the application as opposed to the student. So we didn't really see a need to do a login page on this page. So this is for students to find on their own, basically, or for them to
Okay.
go to and go on that way and fill out the applications through there.
So there's two things with the CalFresh outreach contract. I know that we have some people on the line who are with CalFresh outreach. Currently, we have some that will be starting in the fall, and we probably have a one or two that aren't with the CalFresh outreach contract. But kind of keep in mind with the outreach contract that part of our scope of work is to capture the number of applications that we assist students with. And so that's what we're trying to work out with Caesar. We're trying to get a campus-specific link for your campus when you help students like with the, like on your CalFresh Outreach Day. So we are having those conversations to try and get that so that you will have a specific quick link for your CalFresh Outreach Days. We also will work with Caesar to get a CBO code, so you'll log in and so that the reports will actually show the applications that you assisted with. Now, you all will also be keeping a master log of all your students. So that is another way to capture students. We just like to compare the two numbers because honestly, it's data. And so rarely do we see the numbers match. So it helps us kind of get better data. What else was I going to say about that? Oh, we have actually, with our Chico State team, we have been piloting using the getcalfresh.org this summer. And I have to say that the staff and the students and the interns love it. It's so user-friendly. And, you know, once you get really familiar with it and sort of have the background training and knowledge, you can kind of fill in some of the information that students may ask. But this definitely is a great way to get that application started with the county and then using your outreach dollars to really support the follow through of the 30 days. And they get text messages from the from Get CalFresh that tell them about their interviews. And so those things are really bonus in addition to what you might be providing on your campus. And it's really easy to train new interns. So for us, we have a team that changes like 3 times a year because we get a new group of student, staff, or interns. And so again, having that ease of training really has made a difference. Do you want to add anything, Elisa or Malai?
Well, we're very busy at our campus right now, and within the last 4 days, I think we've submitted over 100 applications, and for the month we're at 371. So Get CalFresh is really helping us since we're training students, new student interns this week, and we're able to do application in less than 10 minutes. So it's a really great help.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
We're seeing a huge spike in student applications right now. You know, since they all started this recorded recently there's like a they're just like racing each other. It looked like, yeah, it was insane.
Are there any places, Brandy, Elisa, or Malai, or anyone who's actually used it before, are there any places where you think there might be some hiccups for students that you want to get clarified or ask about, or hey, this is what happens on this page, or can you think of anything?
Pretty easy. I haven't seen anything.
Oh, I know. I asked this question to one of my student staff today, and she told me that since we're only using Get CalFresh, that's what she went to. But as it turned out, the student was actually living in Yuba County, which is not a getcalfresh.org county. And so if that happens, you can always go to, is it benefitscal.org?
Yeah.
And then, so go to, so if you're not able to use Get CalFresh, I would use that as your primary. And then if you come across a student that isn't in a getcalfresh.org county, like if you are serving students who live in LA County, you're not going to be able to use this as of now.
Right.
Maybe soon. It looks like it's going forward, right, Caesar?
Yeah, so and then also to answer John's question in the chat, yeah, so we were recently doing some research down in LA a couple months ago, just in regards to, because as we know, LA is just a huge county and it has its own system, and we know nothing about LA County in terms of CalFresh. So we went down there, did some research. You know, we're flying back and forth right now, just talking with them and getting things straightened out. There were some issues just with like later document stuff. But we're getting all that worked out as well. And so we're ideally going to be there. I heard someone say something around November. And so that might be when it is, hopefully at least by the end of the year. We're working on it right now to go ahead and just like get things up and running, because we have to build, like rework some code so that it works with the Your Benefits Now system. So it's just like a few different things that we have to change for that. But we're working on it, and it's going to happen soon, within the next few months, definitely. Next couple months, probably. And what exactly, so I'm looking at the next question. Okay, cool. So that's not something I need to answer.
Yeah, so I guess, Brandy, is there anything else that you want to add, or?
I think the only thing that I would want to add, is sort of addressing Aiden's question, is that if you do want us to help you set up a Get CalFresh CBO account, definitely just wait for the follow-up email, which is going to go out right after this, and then just respond to it, and then we can get you started with that process so that you do have it up and running and can track everything for your campus.
Yeah, so quickly, when you have a CBO account, like I showed everybody, the link on the bottom left corner, you'll be able to sign in to your account here, into your dashboard, and then you will be able to see all of the applications that you submitted, birthday, email, phone, language, submit date, and confirmation number if they have one. And so all that'll show up there. You can track it through there. This is an old snapshot, but you'll be able to see information of how many students, of just how many applications you've submitted, and then you'll be able to also download that information by month, and like turn that into an Excel file, Google Docs, whatever you're using. So all that's going to be inside of the dashboard as well.
Oh, great! Those updates are brand new. That's awesome. We're very excited to see those.
Yeah. So we added that, and we changed it to the by month.
Perfect.
Awesome. We love it. Another note I'd like to add in here is it's always good to communicate with your county and let them know that you're going to start using the getcalfresh.org website as your application assistant. If you need some guidance or assistance with that because you're not sure who to reach out to us. You can reply back to this email and we can help set that up. But we definitely feel like that's a good partnership. We have had a county tell us to not use it. So we want to be really transparent with the county as far as this resource. And Caesar, can you send us the slides, or do we have access to them? Because I know one of the participants had asked for them.
Yeah, I can send those out. And then if anybody does run into any issues, any pushback from the county, I don't want to make anybody snitch on their county, but if you could let us know just so that we can work out any issues with them. And, if anybody's just hesitant, we would love to just work that out and make sure that, we're all on the same page, and that, everything's just on good terms with whatever county we're at. And if there's any issues just within the application, if anybody notices anything from a typo to just something not working, please let us know. You can let me know. You can pull up the chat window and let us know. Just give me a heads up that you're from a CBO, so that I know just who exactly I'm talking to. And then, or you can send me an email and we can work it out that way as well.
There you go. Great advice, Caesar.
Okay, so we can leave it open for another minute or so if there's any last questions for Caesar while we have him. But if not, I will again be sending out the follow-up email with the recording of this so that you can share it with anyone that might have missed it today, anyone on your team that might think that this is helpful or useful. And then we will also send those directions on how to set up the CBO accounts with the getcalfresh.org website.
Terrific. Thank you, Brandy, for working with Caesar to coordinate this. Well, and Elisa too helped coordinate it.
Yes, no problem.
Bye, everyone.
All right, have a good day, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.